Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. There was once a devotee who was very devoted to the Lord, and he was having the good fortune that he would, just like Arjuna had the good fortune, Krishna was right in front of him. He could speak to him, he could talk to him, he could eat with him. So there was a devotee who was in the company of the Lord personally. And that particular day, the devotee asked the Lord, "O Lord, I have heard a lot about your divine energy, Māyā. Can you explain to me what is this divine energy? I have heard a lot, because by default, devotees of the Lord are not under the influence of Māyā. So what is this Māyā Shakti, and what is the influence? How does it influence the jiva?" So that was the question. So the Lord said, well, it's a big topic. The whole material existence is the game of Māyā. Anyway, since you have inquired, I'll explain. Since it's going to be a long explanation, so they sat down. And it was a little hot that particular day. And the Lord told him, before we start discussing, I start explaining, get me a glass of water. Now when we know like the big discussion is going to happen, so we make preparation in case we become thirsty in between. Prepare before journey also. So get me a glass of water. Yes, my Lord. And the person went in search for water. And since it was a forest kind of an area, it's not like a house we go to the kitchen and get a glass of water. So he started looking for water, started going around. But nowhere water was in sight. He could not find water. Kept walking. It was a forest area. And while he was walking, since it was quite hot that particular day, he also became thirsty. More than getting the water for the Lord, he also said, I also want water. And if I happen to get a glass of water somewhere, first I will drink one glass and then I will take one glass for the Lord. So kept walking. Fortunately, at a distance, he saw a village. And so he was happy that now for sure he'll get some water. Not only he can quench his thirst, he can also take water for the Lord. So he entered that village and he knocked on a door. So as soon as he knocked the door opened and he saw a beautiful woman. And generally in Vedic times, the atithi or the guest is considered as beware of dogs. That is what happens in Kali Yuga. They don't want any uninvited guests. So board is a beware of dogs, even if there is no dog inside the house. So the lady opened, she smiled. Aiye, please come. So seeing this beautiful lady, hearing a beautiful voice, completely got enamored. Something happened in him which he had never experienced. So anyway, the lady has invited, please come, please come. He came in. He came inside the house. And then he asked, okay, I'm quite thirsty, can you give me a glass of water? So yes, yes. So she got a glass of water in a silver glass and very nicely, pleasantly served. So he drank the glass of water. And then he just was about to get up and go. Then the lady said, looks like you're very tired after a long distance. Maybe you have come from a long distance. Why don't you stay for some time, have lunch and go? Already some chemistry had started. And sweet voice, beautiful lady, inviting, why don't you have lunch and go? So he said, okay, I'll have lunch and go. And while she was preparing lunch, some conversation happened between them and started talking. And then she prepared lunch with a lot of love and served the lunch. While she was serving the lunch, there was conversation and all that. He got so captivated with that lady. And the lady also got captivated by his beauty. To cut the story short, they mutually got into some kind of affection. And without getting into details, this person proposed to that lady. Again, to cut the story short, they decided, okay, let's stay together, and they got married. If I get into full detail of the story, today class will become big, so I'll be short. So they got married. Soon they had children. And the children were very sweet, very cute, and he developed affection for children. That little voices of the children, he got completely captivated. And the loving embrace of his wife, the sweet sounds of his children. And he got completely busy with household affairs. The children grew up, and then all the different household activities started taking all of his time. And then the time came when the children had to go to the school. He would go help them with the school education. And then they grew up, they got married, children got married, they got grandchildren. He got grandchildren. And then both man and woman, they started enjoying playing with the grandchildren. And the grandchildren were very cute. And it was very loving family, very nice, loving surroundings, serene, the garden, this landscape, forest area, village area. So one day it so happened that village, floods came. And because of the floods, when the floods come, unlike present times where there's some dam, some warning, some broadcast message in the news, suddenly people were caught unaware. And the flow was so intense that the entire, whatever was there, whatever came on the path of the water started getting washed away. Many, many hutments. And right in front of his eyes, he saw the floods came, the cattle, the children, his grandchildren are getting washed away. And he's trying, save me, he's trying to, protect them, protect his children, protect his wife. But right in front of his eyes, everything is getting wiped away. And he's desperately trying to save his life, to save the life of all his near ones. He was so attached to all of them. And finally, he couldn't save. Because he was devoted to the Lord, finally in desperation, he fell at the feet of the Lord, fell completely down and folded and said, Lord, save me, please protect me. Very feelingly, very devotedly, he called up. And then he heard some pat on his back. Then he looked back, and the Lord was seated in the same place where he had ordered him for a glass of water. And the Lord said, "Where is that glass of water?" So, we also are in this Māyā's world. We also came for a glass of water, not necessarily glass of water, for something, and have got lost. This is Māyā's world. We have different relationships, different this thing. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm this thing, that thing. Jivera swarupa hoye nityera Krishna das. The original consciousness, just like that man's original consciousness was what? I am in the company of the Lord has asked me a glass of water. That is the original consciousness. All then what he did was completely bewildered by Māyā. So the original consciousness which Jiva has is, I am servant of Krishna. I am Amsha of Krishna. All other consciousness what we have, I am a brother, I am a sister, I am a mother, I am a father, is my children, my grandchildren, is Māyā consciousness. Aham mameti, I and mine. That's why Prabhupada dissuaded people not to prematurely go to Himalayas, to Radhakund, to some holy place that I will do my sadhana. Prabhupada says, even if a person renounces his family, renounces his wealth, and goes to the forest, there is a good possibility if he has nothing but kamandalu. Kamandalu, you understand? Begging bowl or a pot. He will go to the forest with the feeling, this is my kamandalu, my begging bowl. Whereas if a person comes out of Māyā, he can be living in a palace with the consciousness that nothing is mine, everything belongs to the Lord and has to be used in the energy of the Lord. And this purification of consciousness, coming out of Māyā consciousness, takes time. Again, how much time depends on our sincerity, depends on how much mercy we get, how much blessings we are able to attract. Mama Māyā dhruttya, Krishna says, Mam eva ye prapadya, how much we are able to surrender to the Lord, how much the Lord agrees to free us from His divine energy. So, this whole spiritual life, whatever we are practicing, we should not forget what we are doing. We are trying to come out of that contaminated consciousness, bodily concept of life, and come to our real consciousness. That is purification. So here, Lord Brahmā is saying, my Lord, please protect me from these sinful demons who were created by me. So this Māyā consciousness, forgetfulness, Lord, is created by us. We are the cause. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandvamohena bharata. Ichha, we desired. Dvesha, envy, we became envious of the Lord. Samuthena dvandvamohena bharata. And because the Lord wants to facilitate, we want to be independent, joy, okay, try. So this demon, this Māyā, the influence of Māyā, it is not that Lord is enjoying putting everyone in the thing of, we created. We wanted to be in Māyā. Not we wanted to be in Māyā, we wanted to be the Lord, be the enjoyer. And then to facilitate that, this divine energy of the Lord is there, which covers our prakshapatmika shakti, avarnatmika, covers our real knowledge, I am Krishna's servant, and pulls us away from Krishna. So we should understand, many times we get lost in the details. We forget the overall picture. What is the overall picture? The overall picture gets reminded when we hear Bhagavatam daily. The overall picture is we are a jiva, amsha of Krishna. We are his part and parcel. We are his eternal servant. And now we are completely bewildered and lost. Madhupanda Prabhu in one nice lecture explains about persona. In the recent lecture also, he was explaining. So, when we see anybody, right now our vision, our perception is so and so. If it is a woman, oh beautiful woman. If it is a man, oh so and so man. An ideal vision, tattvadarshi we say, no? Tattvadarshi. The ideal vision is a person should see four things. A combination of four things. Can anyone tell what are the four things? When you see someone, actually it's a bundle of four things. Body, mind, intelligence, ego. Where is the soul? So the four things, combination of bundle of four things is one, the soul. Second, super soul. Third, body. Fourth, so he explains, just like in a video game, is there something called as PlayStation or something? You can load different video game, different this thing. So just like PlayStation is there, you get different video games, cassettes. What is it like? What is it called? Different. Okay. So you can load different cassettes and different games will come play. Earlier there was, in my times when I was in college, there was something called as VCR, video cassette player, cassette recorder, VCR. So in a VCR player you put a video cassette, and if you put any movie cassette, that movie will play. These days everything is digital, you know. We have not seen tapes and cassettes and audio cassettes. So in the VCR, whatever tape you play, it plays that. The TV screen will show whatever movie you are put this thing. Each movie has a different cassette. So likewise, in our chittam, which is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, in one sense the subtle body, different personas are getting loaded. Just like in a VCR, different cassettes are put and different movies come. Now, for example, a man is married. That Atma, when it relates with that wife, the cassette of I am a husband gets loaded. Because that Atma is not husband, Atma is not wife. Atma is not having children. Atma is what? Servant of Krishna. Give me a glass of water. That original man. But moment a person, the wife comes in front, which cassettes get loaded? I am a husband. That cassette gets loaded. In the what? In the chittam. Persona. Persona means cassette. Chittam is the subtle mind, the VCR player. And movie, what you see is husband-wife movie. That movie starts playing. Is that clear? Now when grandchildren come, one more cassette gets loaded. What is that cassette? I am Daddu. And that grandchild, Daddu, Daddu, and then Potu, Potu. So that role play will start. Same Atma. All in forgetful of Jivera Surup Hoy Nityera Krishna Das. Then a friend will come. Another cassette will get played. What is that? My best friend. So each of us is a bundle of 4 things. What are the 4 things? Soul, super soul, gross body, and personas. Different cassettes. Is that clear? And each one of us have hundreds of cassettes, just like in earlier times, different audio cassettes are there. When audio cassettes were, each one had one, this movie cassette, this song cassette, this bhajan cassette, this cassette. So we have many personas. Broadly speaking, the personas can be 2 types of persona. Just like cassettes can be devotional cassettes or non-devotional cassettes. Is that clear? Broadly speaking. Devotional movies, non-devotional movies. So cassettes, personas also can be 2 types of persona. What are the 2 types of personas? Krishna conscious personas and sense gratificated personas. Krishna conscious personas means where you see everything in connection with Krishna. Devotional service, when we are relating with devotees, trying to help each other serve Krishna, that's also a persona. He is my God brother. He is my spiritual master. That's also persona, but it is Krishna-centric persona. And what is sense gratificatory persona? You see a gulab jamun. What persona gets loaded? What persona gets loaded? My favorite sweet. It's very sweet. ISKCON bullet. Prabhupada also recommended. It is prasadam that gets loaded. So every moment different personas are getting loaded in the chittam. So there is Atma, there is super soul, there is body, and there is personas in the chittam. What do we say? He is demoniac. The Atma is the same. Body is also same. Super soul also is the same. What is different? Personas. So if we look back, oh, this is the game happening. Oh, this is a cassette being played. Once you understand, because of this cassette, non-devotional movie is being played, then what you have to do if you want a devotional movie to be played? Remove that cassette and put a devotional cassette. In other words, you have a choice to change the cassette. Only in human form of life you can change the cassette. In all other life forms, this cassette is default. The VCR comes with a cassette. You cannot change the cassette. When a bone is thrown to a dog, one cassette gets loaded, persona, which is already loaded in that. What is that? It will jump to that bone to eat it. Then you cannot say today is Ekadashi, tomorrow you can eat it. It cannot, because that persona is inbuilt. It acts instinctively. That persona gets loaded automatically. Human form of life, whatever automatically persona is getting loaded, we can, through tapasya, through austerity, through penance, through self-control, regulate our life and change those personas. We can build new personas by cultivating of knowledge. Why we are doing seva, menial service, to build new personas. I am a servant. I am a menial servant. That's why our training starts with menial seva. When we come from outside, the outside world, we come with a persona. I am so and so, I am an engineer, I am from IIT, I am from this, I am such and such great person. The first training is you're nothing. And it starts with you wash pots, you do this. Get grounded. So this is what we are doing. So spiritual life in one sense is persona management. And Madhu Prabhu will be also training devotees how to change the personas. He is through a process. Shravanam, Mananam, that Anushīlanam, SMDA, Dhyanam, Anushīlanam. You can, because each persona has perception, has narrative and has some beliefs. When a husband relates with the wife, there's a persona, I am a husband. That persona is automatically is a bundle of beliefs. She is my wife. I am her husband. Beliefs. Narrative. I should be a loving husband. I should treat my wife with love and care. These are narratives. What you speak to yourself. What is your self-talk? And perceptions, narrative and beliefs. Each persona has beliefs, narratives and perceptions, which leads to thinking, feeling and willing. Moment the wife is there, she falls sick, you start, oh, she is so this thing, I should take care of her. Thinking, feeling and willing stems from the persona. Persona, which is a combination of beliefs, perceptions and narratives. So, here it is mentioned that the sons of Brahmā, demons were created by me, infuriated by an appetite for sex and have come to attack me. So Prabhupada is explaining that homosexual appetite for males for each other is created in this episode of the creation. Now these days, there is this movement of LGBT. It's becoming very powerful voice, because they say that if this attraction is there between same sex, we should not make it taboo. It should be allowed. There should be no restriction that only male and female can marry. If there's attraction, if two males want to marry, why not? And many countries have made it legitimate as per the law. You can go to court, you can get married. And you're called a married couple. So, what is this? Let's understand, because this is quite common these days and we'll hear more and more cases. Ideally, by nature's arrangement, males should be attracted to a female. Female should get attracted to a male. But why a male is getting attracted to a male? So much so that they are raising their voice and it says, make it legitimate. Again, the example what we shared, we are a bundle of 4 things. What are the 4 things? Soul, super soul, body and personas in the chittam. Now in case of homosexual, what is happening? The soul is male or female? The soul in the body of a male, is it male or female? Soul is not male, soul is not female. The body is a yantra. A soul has got a male's body. By nature's arrangement, default setting, just like in the computers also come with the default setting, phone comes with default setting. By nature's arrangement, when you get a male body, the persona is the cassette which is loaded automatically by this factory setting is what? I am a male. And that persona, thinking, feeling, willing, narrative, belief and this thing, has an inbuilt attraction to women. The cassette. Is it clear? Now, could be some reason, just like because of bad karma, somebody gets one eye, somebody gets some disability. There is a possibility that by default, what is the default setting of a body? 2 hands, 2 legs. What is the default setting? Default setting is 2 eyes. The eyes are proper vision. But somebody can be born blind, somebody can be born with some eye defect, somebody can be born with one limb deformed. So just like a defect can be in a gross body, the defect can be also in a default persona. Now, a soul has got a male's body, but in the chittam, the cassette which has got loaded has attraction to a male. Because soul is not male, the default setting, there is some aberration. So we'll be able to reconcile when we see that everyone is nothing called, there's nothing, when we see a female, is not a female actually. The soul is not a female. Soul is not a male. It is in a body which is a yantra. That's why these days, with advancement of technology, they are having surgeries. We can change the gender of a person. You'll be surprised. They can change the gender of a person. So, when we get little bit understanding of this yantra, the soul, the body, the chittam, the personas and this thing, then we'll be able to properly reconcile what is happening. Why non-devotional movie is getting played? Because non-devotional cassette has been put. If I want devotional movie to be played, I have to remove this cassette and put devotional cassette. Now where to get the devotional cassette? So likewise here, Prabhupada has created this wonderful institution where very easily devotional cassettes are available. Why stay in association of devotees? Because everywhere the personas, what we can load in our chittam are conducive to play devotional movies, to be Krishna conscious, to load our original persona that I am servant of Krishna. So Prabhupada, as we all know, he was very, very compassionate. He wanted this. See, another thing is when we all are in illusion. We are like that person who wanted a glass of water, he went it, he got married, he is playing with the children. We are like that. But an acharya, he is seeing things as they are. He is seeing as lost soul. He is seeing us that we are completely bewildered. He's seeing us that we are lost in Māyā's this thing. He's seeing that we are running behind sense gratification. And he also, just like a doctor, knows how to bring us back. That's why surrendering to a spiritual, what is the meaning of surrender? Unconditionally follow whatever he is saying. Be loyal, be obedient. He knows what is our disease. Srila Prabhupada, whenever his disciples, he was very protective of devotees, his disciples. He was very compassionate. So one time, the Westerner disciples, when they came first time to India, Yamuna Devi Dasi, we all have heard of, she was also a very nice, wonderful devotee. She was famous for her singing, this Govinda Madi Purusham. Is it Yamuna Devi Dasi? So, first time when she came to India, Prabhupada was always guiding his disciples, teaching them, correcting them. What is very normal for us was not normal for them, because again, culture. Because of culture, something which we have learned by default is not default understanding for them. For example, by default, we eat with the right hand or one hand. The other hand we avoid generally. But there was no concept for the disciples. Something they're eating with the left hand, something they're eating with the right hand. There's no concept of jhuta. Boy and girl will be sitting together, eating with the same plate. Same hand you put in the mouth, same hand you put in your mouth. So it was happening in front of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada would correct them, teach them, no, don't eat with the left hand. When you drink water, don't touch the glass. So he was very careful because he knows more so in India people will judge. And one place Prabhupada said, by your conduct, people will judge your spiritual master. By your conduct. We should also remember, it's not only for Western disciples. The way we behave, our conduct is actually people are judging. Actually, they're judging the spiritual master. If our conduct is nice, if we are very nice in our behavior and dealings, then people will say, oh, wonderful. So Prabhupada was always guiding, correcting his disciples, teaching them the etiquettes. So on one occasion when this Mataji came to India, they had learned many Sanskrit shlokas and there are also many songs, many chants. So sometimes when they will go for some events and all those things, so these devotees will chant some mantras, sing some bhajans. So in one particular occasion, some Sanskrit shlokas were getting pronounced, chanted. Some of the people started laughing at these Western devotees and they started making sarcastic remarks. They don't even know how to pronounce. If you go to some South Indian Brahmanas, there are proper ways of chanting the mantras. That way many of us will fail in terms of strictly speaking how the mantras have to be chanted. So they started laughing and they made some sarcastic, they don't even know how to pronounce Sanskrit mantras. So when Prabhupada heard that, he became very angry and he told them right in front of everyone, he says, you don't have 1/10 of the devotion what these people have. You don't have 1/10 you have no right to speak like this. So Prabhupada was very compassionate to his devotees. He tolerated many faults. He corrected them, this thing. But when someone blasphemed the devotees, he was very angry. And it's a fact, many times as devotees also, it is a lesson for all of us also. Just because we are 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in the movement, that does not necessarily mean I am an advanced devotee. When we are an institution, yes, some seniority is there as part of the org structure. We are an organization, senior devotee, 10-year devotee is senior to a 15-year devotee is senior to a 10-year devotee. But that should not become we should not demand respect because of I am a senior devotee. There's a difference between commanding respect and demanding respect. We demand respect because I am a senior devotee, 20-year-old devotee, 30-year-old devotee. We command respect out of our achar, our behavior, our etiquettes, our Krishna conscious qualities. And many times, why we get frustrated? Because people are not respecting us. Why they are not respecting us? Oh, I am a senior devotee, I am a 20-year-old devotee. They may not be respecting us because we are not commanding respect by our behavior, by our attitude, by our dealings. Yes, all of us need some respect. So just like here, Prabhupada said, you don't have 1/10 of the devotion. It is not the number of years. It is not just because you are Brahmana, therefore you are great. It's not just because they are Westerners, so they are Malechas. Just because somebody knows pronunciation of Sanskrit nicely and knows a lot of mantras does not necessarily mean he is advanced. So we should always know, Krishna. Finally, who is the judge? It is not the number of years. What is going on in our heart? What's our consciousness? What personas are getting loaded? What is there in our, what is our motive? What is our consciousness? Who knows that? We can even fake it. We can even do a drama. Who knows it? The Lord knows it. Who is the Lord? Seated right in our heart. He knows what's going on in our heart. So that way a devotee is always humble. He genuinely believes that I have so much sense gratificatory personas sitting in my chittam. I have to work on them. I have to purify them. So just like here it says, sinful demons, these are created by means, we also have many demons in our heart. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh. And the whole life is all about fighting and getting victory over those demons. That is real victory. That is real fight. That is real. And if we have won over those demons, then we can command respect. That will be genuine. Otherwise, we'll expect something and what we'll get in return will be something else. So anyone has any question, anything like to ask? So we'll stop here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.